Hi everybody and welcome to this member help video on the TSANet self-registration process. This is actually pretty easy, especially from a user's perspective, and the idea obviously is for our users to be able to get into the TSANet system via a self-registration process. And we've split that up into two different areas. What we're going to concentrate on in the intent of this video is to give the administrators a high-level view of the self-registration process and give you an idea of what your options are, because the system is actually set up to be pretty robust as far as how you want the user experience to be. But from a user perspective, it's pretty self-explanatory. They go in and they request an account, and then depending on how you've set this up with TSANet staff in advance, it will approve that user and they'll be able to get into the system. So there's two different methods that we've selected that you have the option of doing. One is the automatic method, the other one is the manual method, and I'm going to walk you through both of those. Actually, the automatic method is really pretty simple. You go in and in advance, this is done with TSANet staff, and select the domains that you will allow an automatic approval of a self-registration process. And that goes in, it will send you an email, tell you this person is registered. You go in advance and set up those relationships, whether it be both the open groups and or any custom groups that you want to be set up. And that's really all there is to it. It does tell you who's registered into the system, so you can keep track of that. And you have some control over that by the domain allowed of that user that's coming into the system. So we do have that in place, and you can actually put in multiple domains, although I can't really think that you would probably want to do that. In most cases, it's going to be your company domain, and that would be the only domain that you would accept. The default that we set up is actually a manual process, and I think this gives you a little bit more control. There's a little bit more work to it, but not a whole lot, and so we're going to really spend most of our time walking you through that. In a manual process, what happens is the user goes in, they request an account, and then you're sent an email. And then that email has a link in it that actually allows you as the manager to go in and click on that link. You'll log into the database, and it'll bring up a screen that will allow you to accept or reject that user. And it's totally customizable as far as even down to the verbiage that the user will get when they request an account, and also the verbiage that they get when they are approved for that account. So we're going to spend a little bit more time on that because there are some options and also some defaults that we've set up that I think that you need to understand. So with the manual process, what will happen is you're going to get that email, as I mentioned, and you're going to click on a link, and it's going to take you into this screen that you see here. And this is where you're going to be able to approve or reject that user. And I'm actually going to go into the database here in just a minute and give you an idea of what this looks like in a real-time atmosphere. But the important piece that you need to capture out of this, that is the setup that you do in advance. And that is, not only can you assign the business or program managers that would even get this email, you have that as an option, but then you can go in and actually select the relationships that you want that user to automatically by default get. Now, as you can see here, when you click on that link, it's going to bring you into this screen here, and you actually go in here and select what relationships that they will have access to. By default, what we've done is set it up to where they only will get the open group relationships of basic and premium. So if you want them to automatically get custom groups, then it's just a configurable thing that we do as TSANet staff and work with you to set it up. It's not something you can do on your own, but certainly we can set it up for where that will happen for you. So I think the majority of time what's going to happen is the administrator that's going to receive that email is probably just going to go ahead and click on the link in the email and then go from there and go into the queue and be able to see that user directly. But what I did want to show you is that if you do want to go in through your administration interface, you can also do that. So what I've done is I've logged in here as a manager that would receive that automatic email for self-registration. I'm going to click on admin. And what it's going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go down here to company and then users. And then what we've added is you're going to see all your users here, but then what you're going to see down at the bottom is the user registration queue. And so this is just another way that I can get in, see that Joel here has sent in a self-registration. I can click on view. I can go ahead and approve him or reject him. And then what I can do is go ahead and select those relationships that I want him to have if it's outside of the basic and premium, which will be selected by default. Or if you tell us that you want what relationships you want to be the default, we'll go ahead and set that up for you. And then you'll see I can look at his information, even modify the email that's going to go back to him, click submit, and it's done. So he's into the system. So we think this is a very useful feature. It needs a little bit of work and customization that we can set up for you. If you'd like, please get a hold of us by phone at 913-345-9311, or you can email us at membership@tsanet.org. Thanks for watching.